Welcome to this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters, a podcast we chart the cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. I'm John Campbell. With me, as always, Brendan Jones.
Oh, today is really what a treat, John, because if ever there was a cinematic trilogy that should be enshrined in the National Film Library.
Move over Star Wars, Back to the Future, all that. Get it out of here.
And in fact, our National Film Library would make way for these 3 Canadian films.
That's even crazier.
That's even crazier. But they're like, I'm sorry, when it comes to cinematic trilogies, nothing tops the Ginger Snaps trilogy.
Oh my God. And what a trilogy. Clearly, this was mapped out from day one. 3 parts, going to tell an epic tale. All right, I'm going to say this. I am mildly fascinated by this. I will say mildly. I would read perhaps a long article, but not an entire book about it. I'll go with you on that, yeah.
Because the reason it is a trilogy escapes me, but I will also say I do respect that they're not remaking the same film. This one feels actually the closest structurally. Basically, let's take the original movie story but transpose it to a different time. But the whole thing is that they're all different, but they have the same 2 lead actresses, and that's impressive. And they all happened pretty quick upon each other.
Yes.
So somehow there must have been communication between producers, writers, directors, and an agreement of like, yeah, I like where you're taking it. Go ahead, do it. So this trilogy is bizarre. I mean, even the Howling series, which bounced way the hell around.
Yeah.
I mean, immediately. Howling to Howling 2 is a jump.
Howling?
That almost no one has the guts to take that jump. We took that jump.
Oh, we took
John,
that jump,
did.
Man.
But
no
it
regrets.
is so strange conceptually that the first one, which is kind of almost like Heathers with werewolves.
It definitely is what it is. Yeah, and that's what I really liked about it.
Yeah, the fact that it had this sort of
that's gone, by the way. That 2 and 3, that's out the window. And I will say that's
the second one becomes that really dark indie drug.
Closer to something like The Addiction or something like that, right? Or some of the other ones we've seen. And then
this one.
Here's the thing.
What are we even?
I was watching this and I had this thought about they should have just ditched continuity and just made anthology movies with the same actresses. That would have been interesting.
Sure.
Just similar themes, kind of like the what we talked about over on our Patreon show with Vincent Price and like the Edgar Allan Poe stuff, where it's like the themes are connected. They have some of the same sort of rep company of actors, but this one.
Well, I'd say the Canadian film industry is one big rep.
Well,
company.
That is true. And there were so many people I saw in this that I'm like, I know you from Canadian TV. I know you from Canadian TV. You were on Battlestar Galactica. You were in this. But no, that was the thing I thought about this. The biggest problem I have with Ginger Snaps Back, the beginning, is any attempt to make this fit with Ginger Snaps. Other than that, it's a pretty decent werewolf movie.
It's like I can't at this point remember if they ever even dropped a reference to. No, they didn't. In the first movie, there was no mention of folklore or ancient, ancient, but 19th century French Canada.
No.
So you're sitting there going like, well then, because this is the kind of thing where someone would have dropped a stray line in one of the movies about the past,
right?
And another director would be like, "That is my intro." That's where I go from.
We've still only seen the first Underworld, but that's where that franchise gets to. But that first movie talk about these centuries of battle and conflict, and so when the third movie does that, you're like, "Oh yeah, this has all been seeded."
Yeah. Also, here's the thing I don't understand, and I'm sure we'll get to it. We're not going to worry about spoilers here. At the end of the movie, one of the sisters is a werewolf.
Yes.
And the other one is still mortal and is dying out in the woods.
It sure seems that way, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, then how does the bloodline continue?
Well, there's a real good question there.
I kept thinking throughout it, it's like, well, is it Beatrice, the one we like, Emily Perkins?
Bridget.
Bridget. I kept thinking, oh yeah, Bridget.
Yeah.
I was like, she will survive and will probably hook up with the hunter guy.
Yeah,
and that
would
will be the beginning of the family line that ends up
and
being.
This of course also is the thing that drives us insane about a lot of this stuff, right? Where it's like, that was a movie about a girl who got bitten by a werewolf and all this stuff happened. Now we go back to find that, oh wait, their ancestors, it was always destined and they're cursed and stuff like that.
This is very much like the Halloween thing, where Halloween just kept creating a mythology as it went, that you're like, what the fuck? There's a cult. They have these symbols. They've known about Michael Myers coming back. Man. His family line is tainted.
Someday when we eventually run out of monster movies after Campbell and Jones Meet the Slashers, I cannot wait to talk about the Thorn cult, because it is one of the goofiest fucking things. And really that franchise, indulging or not in it, depending on the movie, is wild. But that will be years from now. But yeah, this is. But also, what I like about this is it kind of half-heartedly builds a mythology. If you watch this with no context for the other movies, number one, there's nothing set up in those, and there's no direct thing that indicates anything here other than the sort of loose dialogue about, and that was how the curse of the wolf came to be, or whatever.
I know. That's
it doesn't matter that this is connected to Ginger Snaps at the same time.
I will actually say that if I had never seen the first two Ginger Snaps movies, I would still probably think that these actresses are interesting. I'd probably go, that was a decent enough period werewolf movie. In fact, there's a couple of good moments in it, but it drags a little bit, whatever.
It does. I mean, it suffers from the same problems a lot of indie horror stuff does. Once it becomes a siege movie and then you're just kind of waiting around, that's always trouble. I think it doesn't have the period setting, but structurally something like Dog Soldiers is a much more entertaining werewolf siege film.
This does have, a badass queen of werewolves walking in, and then a pack following in her footsteps.
Cool. Very
pretty cool.
Really but, I mean, cool. Well, the highlight is still Catherine Isabel and Emily Perkins to me. I think they are very good. I think this is a lot better. I think this is a lot better than 2. And I think I do agree. I had read that in some of the reviews, and I do agree. It's a lot better than 2, but I still don't know what the hell it has to do with 1, which is a movie I still really like. So that's the thing that gets me about this. But the thing I was going to say, one of the big things that helps this over 2 is getting them back together for the majority of the movie. Seeing that they have a real nice chemistry. I really like them as siblings. I really like both actresses individually.
And one thing they did try to do, and it's only here or there, but again, I think that these writers tried to establish retroactive continuity, which is that's
that always goes well.
They tried to keep their personalities the same as they were in the future, meaning the first movie,
which is good and weird.
It is weird because every now and then Ginger, which is really, in my mind, not much of a 19th century name.
No, I can't. For her name was Ginger, it says in the journals of the Pilgrims.
Right. But they give her a few sort of, because her character was always the snarky, like the sort of mean girlish kind of character, and so they give her some, and it's not entirely anachronistic, but you're like going, it feels weird in this setting that they're making her that.
It really skirts that line, though. It's really skirts that line a couple of times. I'm like, ooh, that's pushing into modern day dialogue. Right. Yeah.
But Bridget, once again, is the smarter and the sort of weaker, at least physically, and withdrawn and introverted.
Emily Perkins is the MVP of this franchise, man. She's so good in all of these. And
absolutely, she's my fave. And I'm sitting there going, like, should I just watch everything she ever made now? Because I just like Emily Perkins.
That's the thing. And I know she's like retired from acting and she seems happy about that. But I am like, damn, I miss this presence. She should be a bigger deal. She's fantastic.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Undeniable. So fan club over here, but But again, they're making that attempt as if to say, look, it is a transposition. Let's say these are ancestors of the characters you know from the first movie who weirdly have the same names and look exactly the same.
They could look exactly... Giving them the same names, that really made me go like, what?
Yeah, I know. Why don't you just say that they are the beginning or part of the original family line and they have new names? And I actually thought that when Emily Perkins' character has her flash forward, the mystical, she's going to see stuff. I was like, go ahead and take her into the other movies.
Yeah. I
was like, go ahead. So that will sort of ground it.
I think that's the thing about it, right? Is it feels like it either needs to be more connected or not at all connected to Ginger Snaps. It's this weird thing where it's like kind of in like a spiritual predecessor way. Oh, it's just a weird. That's the strangest thing about it.
That's why I'm saying I am mildly interested in reading about concept and how these things came around. And
I wish there was more about that. Unfortunately, there just isn't a lot of info about these movies.
We're fucked.
I do want to. Oh, she did. Emily Perkins did an episode of the X-Files that I now want to go check out. All Souls. I don't remember this one offhand.
Interesting. You mean a Canadian actress was somehow in an X-Files episode?
Yeah. Apparently so. And we did talk about the fact that one of her first roles was as young Beverly in the It TV miniseries.
That blew my mind.
And
because,
she's great in
that. Yeah, she is.
All those kids are great. I mean, that's so much of, we talked about whatever limits they had of the budget of a TV thing. The cast in that was fantastic.
Oh, by the way, I mean, I know we're going to get into the movie proper, but I love that on IMDb, the first of their goofs that they list on this is such a John Campbell goof.
Uh-oh.
The movie states it takes place in 1815. All of the rifles / muskets used in the movie are percussion locks, not flintlocks. The percussion cap was invented in the early 1820s, okay? Percussion-style rifles did not start becoming prevalent until the 1840s. In fact, many of the Northwest trading companies produced flint-like trade guns well into the late 1880s. You can just hear this guy going, "Come on, Ginger Snaps back."
This is for those who listen to James Bonding. This is a Boothroyd problem. If anyone knows,
it's a Boothroyd.
The guy who wrote in about Bond using the wrong gun in the novels, the original internet commentator, basically.
Yeah, but they actually bowed to the whole thing. It's like, I think he would use something more like a Walther PPK, and they're like going.
He was carrying a Beretta before that, which would not have been a good concealed weapon for a spy.
Yeah, and so the guy who was the gun nerd at least got their attention. They're like, all right, we're totally changing it.
To this day, he carries the legacy of Q's actual name is Major Boothroyd.
That's right.
Yeah, that is still his actual name. So crazy. All right, let's talk about. Well, first, let's talk about the absolutely nothing poster that they had. Really shit the bed on this poster, in my opinion.
They did. They said, where's our money? Bad Photoshop of our two actresses. Literally, you can see where they cut out their outlines around them.
Yep.
And then stuck them on top of a Photoshop full moon.
Which is, I think, the same full moon we've seen on every straight-to-video werewolf movie.
Of course.
Yeah.
And they are standing in the midst of, like a melange.
Yeah.
A group of the werewolves. Who also, if you look at them, they're all snarling and coming right at us. But if you look at them, especially those two up at the front, they could not be sharing that close of a space unless they were two-headed. Two-headed werewolf.
Ooh, now that would have been cool. Missed opportunity of the movie.
Oh my God, a Cerebus three-headed werewolf.
Now we're talking.
And they're really not even, the clothes they're wearing are sort of shapeless, black robes.
Yeah.
This doesn't let you know that this is going to be a period piece.
No, in fact,
the poster
I definitely walked past this DVD cover, and and because once again, I as I've talked about, I never saw the sequels, because I was always just like, why did they make more Ginger Snaps?
Yeah,
but I remember walking past this, and I never knew that the third one was a period piece. I never bothered to read the beginning, I think. But yeah, immediately looking at this could be, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer-esque thing, for all I know.
That's the thing.
So they really just were like, yep, get that out. And one of the craziest things, we talked about this when we did Ginger Snaps 2, Unleashed.
Yeah.
They were filmed simultaneously, 2 and 3, but by different filmmakers, and they have no connection to each other, the movies, which is
It's
really
so
weird. Just everything about this is so weird.
I actually kind of think that the reason that I don't know if we have verification of it, but Catherine Isabel as Ginger is really just a dropping in from time to time ghost in the second one.
Right.
Was it because she was off making Hollywood movies and could only, or
Maybe.
was it like, you get me for all of the third one, but I only have time for a couple of minutes in the second one?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so interesting. I mean, they were just working Emily Perkins ragged, but
yeah. And she's sitting there going like, well, geez, man, I could have been in a Freddy versus Jason. I don't know why they didn't, Hollywood.
She
I'm
could
here.
have been in a Freddy versus Jason. I agree.
Well, I mean, Catherine Isabel really gave it a shot to break through in the American
and
horror
has
thing.
to a certain degree. She's definitely like a cult film icon of sorts, I feel like.
Yeah.
I've never seen the American Mary films, but I know those are popular.
Oh, right, the American Mary.
Yeah, she's big in those. And the biggest thing I know her from outside of this, she was great on Hannibal.
Oh, yes, she was.
She had a really good part on there. And that was, though, made by Brian Fuller, who's a big horror nerd, and probably was just like, I'm going to get the girl from Ginger Snaps.
I'm going to get Ginger in here.
I just, as a note about it, I was looking up Emily Perkins, who, as we talked about, did retire from acting and become a school teacher. But she is married to a guy named Ernest Mathias, who is a professor at the University of British Columbia who specializes in cult films. And actually wrote about the Ginger Snaps franchise, which is kind of adorable. So she's married to like a horror nerd guy.
Nerd.
Yeah. And he married one of the leads.
Who probably met her through interviewing her.
I think that's what it, yeah. He
so would you like to talk about your experiences?
I want to read his book.
Making Ginger Snaps.
One of the books he wrote is The Cinema of David Cronenberg, From Baron of Blood to Cultural Hero. I now want to read that.
And again, he's keeping it Canadian.
Keeping it Canadian, man. I do appreciate that.
Yes.
And also, I just love Dick Cronenberg.
He loves you.
Yeah. He also apparently wrote a book about the Ginger Snaps franchise, so maybe that has some of the answers you're looking for.
Yes.
Also,
indeed.
it probably was very easy to just turn to the woman who's already in his house and go, when you were making Ginger Snaps too, what did happen to the... Oh, that's cool. I'll put that in the book. All right.
What did you really think about all the shooting up scenes in the second one?
Yeah, I just imagine that's what, even though he's a man in his 50s, he's going,
I'm sure.
Well,
because we are making him a nerd.
Yeah.
And he probably isn't, because he ended up with Emily Perkins.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But also he wrote a book about the films of Cronenberg. So there's some nerddom in there. All right. So let's dive into the plot of this movie. We start with we need our context. It is 1815. No matter what rifles tell you.
Yes. Yeah, and also they start with, in 1814, we took a little trip, and it had nothing to do with the plot of this movie.
I thought that was so out of place.
I had two options to watch this for free. One was free, Tubi, I think, and the other was Roku. I can't remember which one I think I went with Roku first, because it was just top.
Yeah.
And it started the same, and then Spanish. And I was like, okay. And since it was a voiceover, I was like, that's weird they didn't give me any subtitles. I wonder why there's Spanish. And then the characters start talking, and they're also dubbed. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, oh, shit. I hope that the one on Tubi isn't the same one. And thank God it was in English. I was about to text you and go, dude, I think the only copies out there are
That's
dubbed
interesting.
in
I watched
Spanish.
it on YouTube, which is where it was just up for free as well. But I mean, I think same thing. Like all of those ad-supported things just get sent these that cost nothing probably to license.
Yes.
So usually if something's on Tubi, Roku, the one I see a lot now is Plex. I think actually the movie we're watching next week is on Plex as I looked it up. So
let me know.
It's another ad-supported thing. There's a million of these that are out there. like, and just get probably whatever's the cheapest content they can license, and then throw ads on top of it to make some money.
Dude, we could have licensed this movie ourselves.
Yeah, I do. Anytime anything shows up on YouTube, that's the ultimate thing of that has no value then probably to a studio.
Right. Exactly.
So, all right. So we open up. Yeah, we have this scroll. It's 1815. We're talking about this trading post or sort of fort, for lack of a better term, right?
Yeah.
Out here. And they talk about how they keep sending these guys out to do trades, and then they come back. And then one time they didn't come back.
Yes.
And
I think
jump
this
scare.
movie will tell us the story of that year that they didn't come back.
That is. But then immediately it goes to, and then they didn't come back. Roar! Jump scare. This movie does have a few cheap jump scares that's not what I think of this franchise as having.
No.
And there's a few wolf.
Yeah, big old wolf mouth, bloody, and
they love
someone going, ah!
There is a lot of implied devouring of people in this movie. A lot of like there's later the guy gets eaten, but he's out the door, so you just see blood coming. Like, oh, that's good. That's cheap. That's nice. And so then it cuts from that to voiceover of Emily Perkins talking about the curse of the thing, and there were two sisters bound by blood.
Oh man, the bound by blood thing. They say 80 million times, and
aren't
also
all siblings bound by blood?
Yes, they are. Sadly, Robin and I are bound by blood.
I just like the whole idea of two sisters bound by blood, and you're like, that's generally how it works if we're talking about the biological children of the same people. Yeah.
And then they also they run this into the ground too: the red and the black.
The red and the black. Yes, one sister red and literally you have the Native American scout character, or I'm sorry, the just indigenous because he's Canadian.
That's right.
The indigenous.
Well, you could still say Native American because
that's true.
The American continent.
That's true. Yeah. So you still have the Native American scout character who's going, the black one says, and he's literally referring to them as the red and the black one, and the other one is kill the boy, or one sister kills the other.
Yeah,
we get that repeated a lot.
Basically, we get Ginger and Bridget are wandering the woods because their parents drowned in a riverboat accident. We
are told that. We do not see that.
We are told that. We don't see it.
Yeah.
But they're trying to make their way, and then so then they do the whole thing about they're afraid they're going to get attacked. The horse is skittish, and they find a Native American lady who they
come upon
call like the seer.
Yeah, they come upon a tent that's been like covered in blood, and there's a bunch of dead animals and stuff, and they're like, hey, what the hell happened? And there's just this old woman out there, and she's
the one that pronounces the whole thing of like you must kill the boy, or the
kill the boy,
the sister will kill
one
the other
sister kills the other is what it that's what I wrote down there. And I thought I'd better write that down, but then later I went, oh, I didn't need to write that down. They're going to say it 800 more times. So
they literally did 800. I counted.
I mean, there's so many times that it's just like something is happening, and you just hear that in voiceover of the old lady saying it. It's just like, got it, movie. Yeah, I understand.
They were afraid you would forget.
They really are, and that's always one of my biggest pet peeves is the assumption the audience doesn't know what's going on, and the constant just because I can always just feel the producer going, you better put something in.
It would have been great if the hunter guy, who's the other native character, would just like go the red and then point to Ginger and the black and then over to Bridget. He stopped short of that.
Comes close, but,
yeah, he comes very close.
Yeah, so when they run off to chase after their horse that ran away, Bridget is caught in a bear trap. Oh, no.
Yep.
And this starts another running thing. I mean, this script is like objectively sound, but it's just so obvious what it's doing. And so it starts the thing about like, we'll count to 100 and I'll be back, but you won't be alone. Oh,
yeah, she's like, she goes, I'm going to run back to that camp, and I'll be back before you can finish counting to 100.
Yeah. And so she runs off, but then At Bridget comes a wolf. Oh no, this movie's about wolves.
Yep.
Oh no, but the wolf is it's an okay wolf because it responds to our scout character. What is his name?
They literally call him Hunter. I don't think he gets a name.
You're right. They don't. Yeah. Nathaniel Arcand.
He's not a very good actor, I have to say.
I will say it looks like he is more often a stunt man.
But he is a handsome and at least
he's done
seems
some stuff.
to be ethnically appropriate.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's, he looks right. He's got the right look. He's got a good look, as we're talking about. I don't think he's an amazing
He's going to help
actor.
her out of that. He's going to help her out of that trap.
So many movies and shows he does in Canada, though.
Of course.
Oh, soon to be seen in, probably by the time this comes out, will have already been seen in Killers of the Flower Moon, the new Scorsese movie.
Nice.
Although I think it's always a sad thing in Hollywood when you're like, it's something that needs a lot of Native American actors. They get all the ones that are in Hollywood because there are still, sadly, not very many.
Yeah.
So exactly. I think that's probably a thing there where it's like, if something like that has everybody in it.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing the entire cast of Reservation Dogs.
Yes, the entire cast of Reservation Dogs, the entire cast of Dark Winds, who is a lot of the same people who are on Reservation Dogs.
And I will say this, that may have sounded snarky, but if they did all show up, I would be very happy because I love them all.
There's a lot of talented Indigenous actors, and I'm glad that there are projects now that are embracing that. This movie, I mean, this character is treated well.
Yeah.
So he calls it off. Then Ginger comes back. There's a conflict, but they think he's no good, but then of course he saves them, and he takes them back to the trading post where we meet the most bad guy, whoever this like military captain character
is. It's hilarious. We get, I will say across the board, except for perhaps Hunter, pretty much all the actors are very good.
Yeah.
The guy who plays the doctor, the guy who plays the head of the camp is very good. The young guy who's sort of the dweeb that kind of, he has a tragic outcome, as a lot of them do.
Yeah, pretty much all of them do.
And this guy who is, like you say, they're just fitting into roles. Like, I am the rational one. Yeah. I'm the crazy religious one. Yep. And this guy who is, I'm a racist piece of shit who can't wait to kill anyone.
And this guy is J.R. Bourne is his name, who plays this part. And I've seen him on a million TV shows. And, he's been on everything that shoots in Canada. Every single show.
You go.
Smallville and Fringe and Suits and Arrow.
Here is a genuine props I will give to this movie is that I was impressed with the overall visuals of this because I know this is a low budget movie shot in Canada.
It's pretty well directed though.
It's pretty well directed, and also they capture the period well.
Yeah.
It's not a thing where they look like they went and rented some costumes that are way too clean. No, this looks lived in. Everything seems historically accurate. Now, I couldn't have told you the thing about the flintlocks. That I wouldn't have been able to tell you any of that nonsense.
Even I'm not that researched on it.
Right,
you know?
Right. But I'm sitting there going like, this looks fairly authentic and much nicer than I would have expected from a movie like this.
I agree. And this director, Grant Harvey, is just like a TV veteran pro, but he was also the second unit director of the first Ginger Snaps.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
So that's and then promoted here, and then just has continued to do low budget Canadian stuff and lots of TV.
Yes.
And apparently is now the cinematics director for the Far Cry video game franchise.
Oh.
And those are very nice. I like those games, and one of the reasons I like them is they really feel like movies. So good on him.
Yeah. So this guy's got some.
Yeah, he seems like he's just he's a guy who's going to come in. This movie cost $2.5 million American dollars.
This cost $2.5 American.
Yeah,
and that it looks a lot better than that.
It does, and I think a big thing obviously is and is always a good thing in a low budget horror movies. It does turn into a siege movie, so it's basically one location, and then and they found a good location. it's, that reads correct, and they dressed it well, and then you get the costumes and the right props, and then some solid actors, and none of my
Turns
issues
out
with
that's all you need.
None of my issues with the movie have anything to do with that. And actually, the werewolves are not bad for the most part.
They're not bad.
And they did get, I don't know how they got them. They got the K&B effects, who we've talked about before, Greg Nicotero and Rob Bottin and that whole group that does a lot
that
of
is interesting, because I would assume they would have been way out of the price range for these folks.
Somebody must have known somebody. And I mean, and when they did the effects, it's probably like, yeah, we did the basic designs, right? Like,
right.
But still, I saw that when they said creature effects by K&B. I'm like, hey, whoa, those are like the Dawn of the Dead guys and stuff,
Yeah.
That's those are top people.
There's some quality work.
There is, and the couple, and also props again to Grant Harvey, the director, not lingering.
Right.
Picks and chooses his moments to show off those werewolves, because we often see one of the big problems is something can look good for a couple seconds, and then the longer you get to look at it, the more you're like, that looks kind of shitty.
One of the problems with the pacing that we'll talk about, I'm sure, is it has nothing to do with whether or not they are showing us the gore or the werewolves. It's that even though the threat of the werewolves hangs over this movie pretty much entire from the get-go. In fact, when these two women show up at this camp, they're ready to either kill them or just send them out, because everyone in there is aware already that there are these creatures that are killing everybody, and they're like, don't let anyone we don't know in.
Right.
But the whole thing is, the problem is really the werewolfery in this movie is delayed a long time.
It is. And then once it starts, the movie also kind of meanders around with these sort of series of werewolves attacks. And then it's like, then it becomes a series of who's going to lock who in what room, where are you trapped, who's over here. It just kind of flounders around before it gets to a pretty good climax. Once the werewolf queen comes in with her werewolves, and then we're lighting stuff on fire and shooting people and stuff. That's all pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, always down for that.
Good setup and good climax, but like a lot of these things, people always talk about movies falling apart in third acts, and they do. There are a lot of movies that do, but I see so many movies that have terrible second acts, because they just they know, they have the idea and they know where they want to go, and then the movie just kind of floats around until it gets there.
They're doing a lot of this sort of they're trying to make the character building stuff entertaining enough. And sadly, they don't have much to say.
Right.
They introduced the one shocking reveal of a character, which is the master of the camp's kid,
right,
who is sort of trapped between being a kid and a werewolf, and he's a pathetic creature kind of thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, it is just the same arguments. This hostile guy will remain hostile the entire time. Mm-hmm. The doctor who's trying to be kind and nice, he'll continue to try to be kind. And in other words, nothing progresses. The priest or the preacher guy will continue to look at them askance and quote Bible verses.
It doesn't have that, and of course I know what I'm about to compare it to is what I think is like one of the greatest horror movies ever made. But it doesn't have what makes something like The Thing work, right? Which is where it's all about the paranoia and how it's affecting everyone in the group. And I don't expect that level, but like that's how you make one of these kind of movies work, where it is more about the threat of what's coming and how the characters are reacting. Everybody here kind of plays their archetype and does it well. Like I said, I think these are all real pros.
But they never take them somewhere else. We don't see someone transform one way or the other, as in the pressure getting, what if the pressure gotten to the head of the camp, and then he starts to like saying, those women, you're right, they are evil. I mean, so everyone's stance when we meet them is the same stance they'll have at the end.
Yes,
literally that's it. They're the same character at the beginning as they are at the end, and that's
and any wavering, like the main guy who's sort of the chief of the camp, who ends up having the son that's a werewolf. Even he like wavers a little bit, and they're like, "What about your son?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll help you then." You know, sort of like, he almost turned against them, but then is quickly brought back to being with them. So I do think that's a little. Anyway, so yeah, we immediately. This military guy is like, get them out of here. We specifically said, oh, this is what we get for hiring one of you because I'm a racist son of a bitch. But he's overruled by the guy who's in charge. He's like, well, no, they're just women and it's cold and we should look after them. And in the meantime, and they talk about our parents just died, so let's go talk to Doc Murphy, who's going to treat...
the whole thing is that they're like, they see her wound from the bear trap, and they're like, hey, how do we know you weren't bitten? And she goes, it was a bear trap. And they're like, all right, Doc, you go find out.
Yeah, and so the doc is treating her wound with leeches that will become a huge part of the movie later. Right, and so he's treating that. And this is a guy, Matthew Walker is the guy who plays Doc Murphy, another veteran of Canadian TV and movie and everything.
And he's very good.
Like I said, everybody here is
and it's
what
all
they
period
are.
specific.
It's
where
all
he's
a pro.
like, it's like, well, I'll examine you, but yeah, here's the thing. The only way we can determine if you have been tainted, I guess, by werewolfism is leeches.
Yeah.
Which that's a new one on the mythology, but sure, whatever.
Yeah, why not, man? I mean, it did some of the visuals of that are kind of cool, and the leeches are like filling up and exploding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
By the way, this guy was in an episode of... We love the like syndicated monster shows that we always talk about. Do you remember Blood Ties?
No.
From the mid 2000s, Blood Ties.
What was that one?
A former homicide detective turned private investigator teams up with a 407-year-old vampire to form a unique team solving cases dealing with the supernatural. So
that's amazing that I haven't heard of it.
X-Files if one of them was a vampire, basically. They only did one 22-episode season, but that was a Canadian-produced... I never saw it. I remember it being on vaguely, though.
No, I don't even...
They were sexy.
I'm sure.
Oh, sexy private investigator, sexy vampire.
That, I'm sorry, is too much sexy for me.
And, of course, he was also in an episode... Do you remember Sanctuary? The Sci-Fi Channel show where the big thing was it was all on green screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watched some of that.
Why?
It was a Sci-Fi Channel show about monsters. I also had Amanda Tapping from Stargate SG-1, which I was a big fan of.
And if you're nothing if not loyal.
I will watch, particularly to the sci-fi TV people. I will be loyal to those,
Mm-hmm. I could never do Stargate. I could never do any of the Stargates.
I really like Stargate.
Not a single one of the Stargates. The only thing I ever liked Stargate related, the first movie.
The first movie's great, yeah. I have seen all of the Stargates, of course, because all right, so yeah, they. And this is also where he busts out. It was like, I'm gonna help you sleep with. Was this ether? Is that what we're supposed to think this is?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he knocks her out, and then he knocks himself out with it too.
Stuff's powerful, dude.
And he does talk about like, there's some creatures out in the woods. That's why everybody's on edge. I don't know. And they're like, we didn't see any creatures. Like, yeah, they're out there.
Yeah.
So we're setting that up. And then
there also was a one of the guys in the camp, one of the trappers, they talk about his brother and one of their teams is 2 months late reporting back.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to be coming back, and they're like, well, maybe they're okay and just delayed. Later on, we'll find out. No.
Is this the guy that Brendan Fletcher plays, who was also in the second Ginger Snaps movie? This guy.
Oh, was he?
Brendan Fletcher. He's the younger guy with glasses in this, right?
Oh.
He was.
Yeah, but that's not this guy.
Oh, this is the other guy who is working with the doctor, and he's telling them about. He's the one who tells them that there's a group of guys who should be back here.
Yeah.
But because he also played the nice librarian who tried to help Bridget in the last Ginger Snaps and then got eaten for it. So. But another Canadian TV actor. You can currently see him on the Joe Pickett television series, which also shoots in Canada.
Oh, which you watch a lot.
I love Joe Pickett.
You like you some Joe Pickett?
I love Joe Pickett. Also a show shot in Canada, though.
No, it's okay. Yeah, we'll let it go for now. A
lot of stuff does. So anyway, they all go to a dinner where they show up and they're in some like kind of fancy dresses, or at least in all because it's only guys here, all like hoo hoo woo woo.
Yeah. Apparently, because we keep calling him the camp leader.
Yeah.
That guy. His family had lived there.
Rollins?
He had
Is
married a native woman.
Is that his
which,
name? Is it Rollins?
Yeah, Rollins.
Yeah.
And he is mocked for that, and the preacher guy looks down on him for that. But he had a native wife and child, and so the wife and the child are both dead, so we think.
Mm-hmm.
But the wife apparently left some dresses behind, and that's what the girls have put on now.
Yes.
And yes, the whole thing is, this is one of those scenes where they let Ginger be postmodernly snarky, is that the preacher guy starts off just doing a blessing that suddenly becomes like a screed, like, and she's like,
that guy goes from 0 to fire and brimstone so fast in every scene he's in.
And Ginger basically just cuts him off and goes, amen, thank you. Just like, and I'm shutting you down. And he's like, you are the devil's child.
Well, because they come in these dresses and all the guys are like, wow, we forgot how nice it is to have ladies around. And he's just going, let's not, embrace some of our baser impulses.
It's
resist
like,
the temptation,
the
gentlemen.
Of the flesh.
Yeah. And by the way, the Reverend character is played by a guy named Hugh Dillon, who is like the king of Canadian TV. He is one of the biggest Canadian TV stars. I've seen him on multiple shows.
Do I now owe him some sort of tribute?
Yes, I think so.
Since I have been in the presence of the king?
The king, indeed. But he did a show called Flashpoint that was very popular in Canada. He also did a show called Durham County that was sort of Canadian Twin Peaks. And now he's into the... He's big into the Taylor Sheridan universe over on Paramount, so he's on Yellowstone, and he actually co-created and stars in Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner. So this is the guy I like. Oh, I know this guy immediately the second he showed up. I also want to.
But he does have a thankless one-note character.
Totally thankless role, like everybody in this movie. Thankless role done by a total pro who is just doing what is asked. I do want to also, just because if I don't mention this, I'll kick myself because I don't think we've ever talked about this, that the guy who plays the leader of the camp was the main villain on the syndicated show Mutant X.
Yeah.
Mutant X.
I did watch a little bit of that.
It's not X-Men, folks. We can, in a court of law, prove Mutant X.
I thought that was one of the ballsiest.
That is
rip off anything.
It is. They're basically going, come at us, Marvel, because you don't have a case. It's like you don't own the word mutant or the letter X. As long as we don't say X-Men, we're cool.
Yeah, it's just a group of mutants with powers fighting crime.
Starring John Shea.
John Shea, indeed, and he was the Professor X type character.
Yes, he was the Professor X and his And
there was this
guy was the
feral woman, like a female Wolverine.
Yeah.
There was the cute redhead. I can't remember what her powers were, but she was cute. I
can't remember.
It's been a million years.
This guy played the bad guy who looked exactly like Andy Warhol for some reason.
Oh, that's
yeah. They
made him look exactly.
I have no idea what. Just go look at Mutant Name. Most of the photos are of him, basically in Andy Warhol cosplay. It's really an interesting choice. Anyway, what a dumb show. But that was one of those shows that was on forever. They made like 70 episodes of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the preacher's like, "Don't you be fucking those girls." I don't want to hear about it. And then, everybody goes silent when our Hunter character just drops a wolf jaw on the table.
Yeah, comes in, drops the wolf jaw, and they go, boy, that thing must have been about 14 feet.
Yeah. Not since Robin Hood dropped that deer in the castle has anybody done anything this bold.
Man.
Yeah. And then, of course, this turns into, as I just write, military captain gets racist, fight breaks out. But of course, because he's a racist loser and not an actual badass, he immediately loses this fight and gets a knife put to his throat.
Yep.
And that's when the Reverend was pretty chill by 1800s Reverend standards when he was just like, the sins of the flesh. But now, as soon as his fight breaks out, he goes, "These women are demons! Demons, they have brought this. This wouldn't have happened if they weren't here."
Yeah, you guys would never have gotten in a brawl if these tempting young 20s
Harlots.
ladies weren't here.
Harlots!
He's basically calling them harlots with every breath.
I just love that in every scene, he is just about to lose it.
Yeah.
He is on the rickety edge there, man. So they go, they get put in their room for their own good. They lock the door, so it's like the fellas aren't going to bother you. But then in the middle of the night, Ginger hears, "What's this? The wailing of a child." Well, now wait a minute. That seems kind of odd. And this is where we get our look at what at first just seems to be a deformed boy that we'll later learn is, not half werewolf, but like mid-werewolf transformation.
Yeah, and I don't think they ever really explained too well why he got stuck that way, but regardless,
of course
the whole thing is basically...
Details are not what this movie is in for.
No, but they essentially immediately, or at least Ginger does, it's like, oh, yeah, you got to be the commander guy's supposedly dead kid, but you're not actually dead.
Right, but he does bite Ginger.
Unfortunately, that is where this begins.
Yep.
This is where Ginger snaps back.
From what? Yeah,
beginning.
I just don't. Ginger snaps back feels like that should be the sequel.
Yeah, but they're kind of doing a Back to the Future nonsense kind of tie-in where it's like you're supposed to, we're going back in time? Back in time.
Oh, yeah. Man, when that cued over the end credits, I was not ready. Gotta go back in time.
Yeah, starting off with the War of 18.
Is this the future on 1955? Yeah.
Oh my God, so good.
So good. That Back to the Future soundtrack rules. I know that's a hot take. The classic movie soundtrack. Okay, so she comes back to Bridget. She's like, "We got to get out of here. I just saw a boy with a weird face and he bit me. We got to leave right now." And this is one of this drives me insane in a lot of horror movies. The 4 separate scenes where they go, "Now we have to get out of here. We just have to go right now."
That is a big problem for me too. I really can't stand the constant, "We have to leave." Then there's a reason why we can't. All right, but we're definitely leaving now. Oh no, we can't.
It's one of the reasons why I generally hate most haunted house films, because they always struggle to find a reason why people would stay, and it's always just like, okay. So I do think that's a. They're a little bit better. I just wish, like, at a certain point, they just need to be resigned to their staying. So they grab some weapons, which I was like, oh yeah. Now we're going. We got swords.
Yeah, I did like Singer with a saber. That was
pretty cool. They don't do anything with them, unfortunately.
No, really don't.
But instead they go out, and of course, you would think they would have been a little bit more careful about lifting this giant wooden bar from the gate rather than just slamming it into the ground. I understand it's heavy, but still, they like hurl this thing to the ground.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our douchebag military captain shows up, and then he basically challenges Ginger to fisticuffs. I thought that was a weird moment.
Yes, and then he's like, "Fine, you're all tough. Then let's see you do this." And then later on in the movie, there's another, like, he finally gets to punch her 18 times.
Yeah, but
she's all werewolfy and is like, "You hit like a girl."
He like goes into old timey pugilist stance, like, "Come at me, woman."
Yeah.
I thought that
because
was very
he
strange.
Is itching for a fight.
I guess so. It's. I was not prepared for that. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna put down this gun," and then of course the stupid thing is that fight doesn't happen because then Bridget just picks up the gun and points it at him.
Yeah,
the historically inaccurate gun.
No. Yes, and then there's the whole thing of him going like, "You wouldn't do it," and then
Ginger's like, "Do it."
Yeah, like, "I'm gonna cock this gun and prove," and then he's sort of doubting it now. He's going, "Well,"
but none of this matters because the wolves have come. Ah!
All the wolves,
and they yank this one guy out through the gate, and he is getting ripped up something fierce.
Yeah, he is screaming, and there is blood gushing. Oh, by the way, I gotta say, we'll get to it, but the main baddie, the guy who's not being killed by the wolf in this scene,
Right.
who later on just punched Ginger, when she cuts his arterial, his femoral artery open, that was some awesome blood spraying.
It was.
That was really good blood spraying.
The movie actually, all the whenever it does do the monster and gore stuff, it's pretty solid.
Yeah,
I will give it that. It does deliver on that. It's the moments in between, because the character work isn't there. You are kind of going like, can we get back to the eating of the people then?
Yeah, can we get back to the eating of the people is what I always say.
Well, that's sort of my thing is I know I'm the gore hound around the show, but I don't need constant violence in the movie. But if you're not going to have well-developed characters, then let's turn into a Friday the 13th movie or something like that. You know what I mean? That's sort of the...
Yeah, it is exactly. Bringing up when you did earlier, bringing up Dog Soldiers, it's the same thing. And also, again, The Thing, where in both situations, it's budgetary, but it also should work. The contained, we cannot leave this space, and there are monstrous supernatural forces just waiting to get in at us. That should be escalating constantly. But here,
it's just sort of it's like everybody just returns to status quo when the wolves aren't actively attacking.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of there's no where's the scene where they prepare for the wolves to come back and it's all right, batten the hatches and whatever. There's nothing like that where it's all right, they're coming back. It's more just this scene happens, this guy gets killed, and then they just go no, the wolves will be back. But anyway, in the meantime, you harlots.
Yeah. Wait, where were we again? Oh, right.
Yeah, you
are harlots.
Right. Yeah. It's just that's the thing. Yeah, you don't feel that because we do have so many examples. Not just The Thing or Dog Soldiers, but countless zombie movies. It's a great, not only cost-saving thing, but it can be a really tense way to make a horror movie. The sort of siege film subgenre is a great, particularly in horror, structure to build a movie around. But you've got to do the character work in that. Now you're and I always talk about that. Writing's free, man. You can do as many drafts of the script as you want. That doesn't cost.
Well, actually, writing is not.
Well, writing's not free, but it's that's the cheapest thing. You can fix it on the page the easiest before you can go out. Yeah, that's the thing that gets me about stuff. Is just the script should be really good then, if you can't afford the effects. Yeah.
That should be the groundwork you build on.
Yeah. And so then they're oh no, we held off all the wolves, but we think one of them got in. And then, oh no, the Reverend pulls them aside going, you'll be safe in this room. And they're no, we're not. The wolf is in this room. And the Reverend is just that's what you get, you harlots.
I know. He's fine, you'll be eaten.
By the way, if anyone wants to know, I have an idea for a show about a mayor of Kingstown.
I did not. I still haven't watched it.
I'm a huge fan. It's so good. It's very bleak and gory, and it's really good though. And he's really good on it as well as the writer of it.
Well, good. Yeah, I'm glad that he had a career after this.
So they shut the door on it, but of course. The wolf is about to get them, but then our hunter friend saves them. But he does say, "It has begun, black and red."
Yep.
Okay, he's just this.
If this were a drinking game, I'm sure many people would already be a little tanked by either black and red or bound by blood.
I would say this is a real you'd have to be real careful with this string game because you could send people to the hospital with some of this stuff.
And I don't want to do
Good Lord. And so they look at Ginger's wound is real bad. It's real bad, but don't worry because it's also we'll come to find this is a dream sequence, but all of a sudden she out of nowhere starts making out with the hunter.
Yeah.
But then she what did I write here? Remembers. Then she remembers the prophecy. It's wait a minute, but I'm also supposed to kill somebody, right? And then I woke up from that was all a dream. And in her sleep, she is bled out of her shoulder. All the bed is coated in blood.
It looks like she would have none left. Is how much blood came out of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she's just like, Bridget, I don't want to hurt you, anybody. I think I'm turning into a thing. But here's the deal. The dream sequence, this is all fine. But her transformation in this movie, which this really is where it was like, oh, they really have just transposed the first one.
Yeah. It's the exact
really
same.
drawn out. It's the exact same amount. I'm like, I can smell the blood in everybody. And then she's like, also, I'm getting those gray streaks in my hair, and my nails are growing all weird.
That's
I'm
not
getting
good.
all sexified.
That's not good because we've seen that movie, so it's like, okay, I know exactly where this is going.
Yeah, so either move forward in time a bit, jump ahead if you want to be, well, we have to keep it the same amount of time. All right, fine, but move the story forward, because otherwise it's just like, yeah, we know we've been down this thing.
Yeah, then once again, that's the whole issue with this movie, right? Is like it's kind of an interesting idea, but it's also beholden to Ginger Snaps, but not that beholden to it. So it's both pretending to be a new thing, but also acting like here's the explanation of the thing that came before. And that's where I think the movie falters, is on that sort of muddled nature of like, oh, what are we doing? Is this a new thing? Is this a connection to an old thing? Yeah, it's tough. They just shouldn't have, I still come back, even though I generally enjoyed this movie, they still should have just stopped at that first Ginger Snaps, which was a totally solid original monster movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you right there, John.
Yeah, and like I said, though, something I'm always advocating for more of is just, if these two actresses are really good, just reteam them in a new thing. I don't know why movie studios don't do this more often. It's like, oh, we just like seeing them. They don't have to be those characters. If two people work in a comedy, I always thought this was like the Hangover movies, right? It's like, people love the Hangover. You don't have to make the sequels. Just bring that trio of guys into a new comedy setting.
Yeah, it's kind of true, except for it's like, oh, we want to repeat the same jokes because that is easy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's lazy. It's instead of doing, I always go back to, like, the Marx Brothers or Abbott and Costello. They weren't literally the same guys in every movie. It was those comic personas in a new scenario.
Sure.
And that's what anyway,
that didn't happen here.
But it kind of did. That's
These are ancestors of Bridget and Ginger.
Yeah.
Somehow.
So the doctor comes into his little medical room there, whatever, the medical shack. And the guy with the glasses, Brendan Fletcher, is killing all the leeches because he says they're bad leeches. Leeches are bad. And
which is also kind of a dead giveaway, that you don't want anyone to know that you have been bitten.
If leeches are the way we know people are werewolves, and somebody's just like, no, man, the leeches are bad. No, I didn't get bit. I just think the leeches are bad. We gotta get better leeches or something, man.
Yeah.
And so he pulls a gun on him.
Yeah, the doctor basically says, all right, but then you try the leeches out for yourself. And he goes, no, I'm not going to do that. And then he's like, you're gonna.
Yeah. Oh, you
better.
better.
And so he puts the leech on him.
And it swells up and is insanely huge.
Yeah, and then the doctor's like...
Doctor just shoots him in the head. Yeah. And also, I will say, the blood story is good. All the like headshots look really good in this, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
There's that suicide scene later on, and I was like, oh,
it looks pretty good.
Does. They spent that $2.5 million very well.
They really did. So then everybody's looking around at this dead wolf that's in the center of the camp, and they're like, oh no, you don't think this couldn't be one of our guys, could it?
Yeah, it's a big old werewolf body. And then they're like, well, who do you think this was? And then they basically just like sort of move some of the fur around, and they go, oh shit, that's your brother's tattoo.
That's your brother's tattoo. They pull the glass eye out of one of them. They're like,
yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, these were our guys. These were the guys that we were looking for. Crap. They're wolves. Now they're dead. So this obviously, I can't remember. This continuity does not do that they've returned, of course, to human form then, after they've been killed.
Apparently not.
I can't remember if that was that must not have been the case. I don't remember specifically.
Well, I think didn't the one that they hit in the road in the first one, didn't it turn back into a guy?
That's what I'm trying to remember. It's been a little while since we did that.
I don't know.
But I did have that thought about like, okay, because we just have a bunch of dead wolves lying. Also, as we have known, we're not dealing with silver or anything like that. You can just kill the wolves any way you please.
Yeah, that they kept, because here it's literally whatever you got.
You think I'm shocked about this being in the Ginger Snaps franchise?
Hunter sends an arrow through one of them's head, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, that whole scene at the end when they're just in like the last stand against the werewolves, a lot of cool werewolf kills in there.
Yes, indeed.
That stuff is great. We're in sort of the like boring part of the movie now.
But we can move past it. It's all the same nonsense.
The thing I was going to say, though, that I'm surprised isn't in this section, that is such a big part of the other Ginger Snap movies, is the Wolfsbane stuff.
Yeah, that's not here at all. I thought that, because
I thought when they went to the elder woman, they were going to get that.
Yes, and also there's that weird, what is that? Like we see not scrolls, but we see like old books where they have the woodcuts and etchings in it, and I kept thinking, oh, there'll be information in that, but really, it only inspires Bridget to see this thing of there's an illustration of a werewolf attacking like a holy woman,
right,
like a nun, and then I guess she's sitting there going like, oh, I have to.
One thing we haven't talked about is throughout the whole movie, because it just assume this is happening, we just keep getting these flashes to like bloody corpses and flies buzzing around. They will just throw those are also sort of like cheap scares that I don't like, and once again has not been in the language of this franchise at all.
No,
just sort of these like the other movies have been more about sort of the creeping dread of the becoming a monster. Now suddenly we're getting like wah, hoo, ha, which I just
that's some directorial or editorial nonsense.
I hate
but
that
like
stuff.
we've got to pump up the adrenaline of the movie a little bit, so quick cuts to gross things. And we get other dream sequences and fancy.
Well, later the thing we don't get is the Wolfsbane. But later we'll get to the like hallucinogenic tea or something like that, which none of that anyway.
Well, if nothing else, I did like Emily Perkins with like smearing the blood around her eyes. That was pretty badass.
That was cool. Or when she's just walking forward and there's blood coming down her eyes and out of her nose, like that.
And that was where I thought, when she had that vision, I was like, oh, this is where they'll put in flashes to the future. And they didn't.
No, that would have been interesting. That would have been something.
Yeah.
So the Reverend does another fire and brimstone thing. Yeah. When Ginger wakes up and the little boy who's a werewolf suddenly doesn't have a werewolf face, and he's talking to her, but then he disappears because it's just a vision about that stuff doesn't. Oh, the
she's having because now that she's a werewolf, she's seeing like his inner soul kind of thing.
Sure. Once again,
but what's weird is this movie is asking you to kind of sympathize, like she is sympathizing, like, oh, you poor boy, and we both have this curse now. But she also knows the entire time, well, the only way I can lose the curse is I'm going to have to kill that kid. And so it's the sort of thing of like, no, I'm your friend. Come a little closer so that I can off you.
But then, of course, we'll get to the scene where she can't.
She just can't. Even though the kid does sort of offer his neck, like, oh, I get it. Yeah, go ahead, kill me, because my life is terrible.
That's kind of the thing. And also, like, he's not an adorable kid at that point. He's a horrendous monster who clearly wants to die. Like,
well, he's literally going to his mother's grave and digging up her hand just to be close to her.
That scene didn't work to me, because I did think, like, no, I feel like I would probably kill that werewolf kid then.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually maybe the morally right thing to do in that scenario. They don't do a good enough job of establishing the like, but I can't.
I just can't.
So anyway, the badass moment from the hunter when he puts one of the werewolf heads on a pike in front of the place.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, that's right, you sons of bitches.
Which is also like the first movie the second movie.
Oh,
where they do the trap stuff out in front of the cabin, and it's like, werewolves, you don't dare come around here.
Don't come around here no more. That's just it.
Don't come around here no more.
Yeah, that's what Tom Petty was singing about werewolves. Little known fact.
That's exactly right.
He was tired of those werewolves bothering him. And man,
werewolves are what got him.
I just fucking hate all these werewolves, man. Tom Petty didn't really sound like that, but that was how he would talk if he spoke like how he sang.
Sure. And let's also not forget that he did sing about all the vampires living in Reseda.
This is true. This is true, man. He was real worried about monsters. That's what I'm saying.
He would have loved this podcast.
He would have loved it. Yeah.
R.I.P.
This podcast is dedicated to the memory of the great Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Actually, I do love, of course.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mostly I love him as Gary Shandling's neighbor on It's Gary Shandling Show, which is one of my favorite weird random details in that show.
Yes.
Brilliant show. Anyway, so yeah, we get a bunch of information that we already know, like is confirmed by the main guy because Bridget asked about the son. He goes, "Oh yeah, he got bit, and then he wasn't little by little, he wasn't my son anymore." Once again, solid if unremarkable work from the writing by just a quality character actor.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, no, never mind. I'm just looking at. I'm just going through here. There's like another.
And the notes are literally like. Then the preacher says.
Well, then it's like guy hears noise in barn, goes to look, and it's the boy with the werewolf face, and he falls off a ladder and dies.
Well, this is the whole kind of, like you said, the middle section is them just bouncing between status quo conversations and these slight little moments of
because this is where the Reverend captures Ginger and he's gonna burn her.
Yes.
But Bridget convinces the head of the camp there to be like, "Hey man, he's going to burn my sister. I'll tell him your son is a werewolf." And he's like, "Oh, shit." And so then we get our Mexican standoff out here. Yeah. Tarantino's favorite scene. So, yeah, because it is very like, we all got our muskets out. And everybody, so
I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and they end up shooting the doctor here in this scene.
Yep.
And so then for Ginger's like, "No, you shouldn't have saved me. Don't you know I'm cursed? I'm going to go find that boy." This is now where I'm talking about, like, Ginger was locked in a room. Now Ginger locks Bridget in the room.
Yes.
And this is where, she finds the boy at the mother's grave, but can't kill him. Right. And then is now going to save him because they're, like, running off while soldiers are shooting at them.
I guess the whole thing is maybe to free him, or he's trying. I don't know.
Here's a weird scene that happens in here. When the hunter comes into, because Bridget's locked in their room, the hunter comes in there and he goes, "I've been dreaming about you before I even met you."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Nothing comes of that.
This is tied into they do continue, but it is that the thing about he learned this about her from the seer woman, and basically he's like, our destinies are intertwined. I've dreamed about you, and I'm supposed to save you, but I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
In the doing of it.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is
that's like, a bummer.
Great. And it is sort of like she's like, "Is there no other way?" And he's like, "Well, you want to talk to the seer yourself? Okay.
How about we go up? Yeah, let's go talk to her, man.
How about you take some of that sweet herbal tea she's got?"
Yeah. So
and have yourself a vision.
Well, this all happens right after they leave, because the secret's out. They all see the wolf boy, and it's finally the main guy who ends up shooting his own son, and that's when they're like, "Oh shit! Well, now Ginger, you missed your chance." I guess it was that she had to be the one to kill him.
Had to kill him in order to free herself from the curse.
So the fact that someone else killed him. No dice.
It's like you missed your shot, which means at this point, one of the sisters is going to kill the other, supposedly.
Yeah.
This movie does try to set up this will she or not with Bridget. Like, she knows what's got to happen. She has her vision, and it's all gory nonsense, and includes the hunter about to stab Ginger.
Yeah.
And then Ginger grabbing the knife and doing it herself.
That's what she sees in the vision, yeah.
Yes, in the vision. Yeah. Bridget grabbing the knife from the hunter and killing her own sister.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, that's what you got to do. So the movie's trying to go, yeah, she's going to take out her own sister like she did in the first movie.
But the then when Bridget comes out of, I love this. She has this whole vision, and she comes out of the vision, and then the old woman is mauled to death like by a wolf, and it's just like, wait a minute, what happened? And the hunter's just like, dude, it got crazy in here while you were asleep there or having your vision. Your sister totally wolfed out, killed this old lady. Oh fuck, man.
I do love that. She wakes up, she's like, what the fuck happened? It's like, you're awake now? Yeah. Oh, because there was full-on werewolves, and
you missed some shit, man. It was crazy. This
would have easily cost another $100,000.
Well, I just love the idea of, like, of course we don't see it because there's pins, but also just there's a scenario where Bridget's just like asleep in the corner going, Meanwhile, there's a huge werewolf fight happening around her.
Yeah.
But of course, and so he's readying his arrows, going like, we gotta hunt these things, man. And of course, Bridget's still going like, but it's my sister. She wouldn't kill me. She's my best friend.
It's like, yeah, but no, I'm telling you, that doesn't matter because the prophecy, and she's not even her anymore, and she's a wolf.
So they return to the trading post there, but oh no, it's a trap, and Bridget is captured. Because they're like, well, she'll definitely come here. We'll be ready for her if we capture her sister.
Now they tie Bridget up.
Yeah.
And she's using her for bait, basically.
Yeah. And this is where we get the cool shot of Ginger rolling up on which is really the highlight of the movie to me. Is it's so badass. It's like something out of a comic book, really. The werewolf queen and her soldier wolves, and you're just like, oh, where was this the whole time, man? This is the movie I wanted to see.
Indeed.
Too expensive, of course, obviously. This has to we get 5 minutes of it. But still pretty cool. They come in here and the hunter does stop the Reverend from burning Bridget by shooting an arrow through his arm, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another good one.
So he's screaming as he's got the bloody arrow in his arm. I like all that. Once the blood started coming out, I was really into this thing.
It's starting to pick up right around this point. Now this is where it's all coming to a head.
Right, yeah, and then stuff starts catching on fire. Let's see.
And the head of the camp has basically bowed out by this time.
Well, he kills the Reverend first.
Yeah, that's true. He goes inside and kills himself.
Shoots himself. Oh, because he got scratched by a wolf. So he was
I thought it was because he had killed his kid, and he's like, yeah.
No, he gets sliced by a wolf and then goes inside and does it.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so I think it's like so that I don't become a monster. This is where we get the
I'd say 6 1/2 dozen the other.
I think it's all rolled up in there. Yeah, I think there's a lot going on for this guy.
There's a lot going on. Finally.
Yeah, the captain guy comes up to just literally walking in with fucking werewolves, and this guy's like, "I'm gonna fight you, bitch."
Yeah,
and he
starts beating her. It's uncomfortable.
It is,
but we do know that she is super powered. And
I do like once again, Catherine Isabel plays this so well because like every hit she takes, she goes to the ground and just kind of gets up like, yeah, that's it, man. That's what you're gonna hit me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then finally, just the quick slice across the throat and the arterial spray.
Oh,
gorgeous. And it's all lit by this torch fire. I mean, like this. Yeah, the end of this is really good. Props. I see why this director went on to do more stuff. And specifically seems to have done like action and sci-fi. He also was one of the main directors on Orphan Black. Speaking of Canadian stuff.
Yeah, now that's a quality project.
That is a quality We know a lot of people from this ended up over on Orphan Black from the.
I wish I had ended up on Orphan Black.
Great show, man, and just the tour de force of Tatiana
Unbelievable.
Maslany. Yeah,
unbelievable. Who is pretty much the best thing about the second movie? Just a joke.
Hey, man, we all got to start somewhere, you know?
Yeah, I still can't believe she was 19. That is still blowing my mind.
She looks 13, yeah. So, yeah, they're all fighting. Well, fighting. People are getting killed, whatever. I mean, it's all exciting, but it's like there's a lot of just pretty much everybody else gets killed by a wolf at this point.
Yeah.
And then you do get the wolf that's going to attack Bridget, but the hunter shoots her, but then he gets bit. Oh no.
Yep.
And then he gives because he's bit, so he's going to turn. The hunter gives Bridget his knife. She stabs him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that's where you're supposed to be like, oh my God. Because in the vision, she did the I'm gonna kill my sister because I have to. But this movie, just like the first one, keeps so layering on the we'll be together forever. We
Yep.
are sisters. We'll never, hurt each other kind of thing. So at the end, when she gets a hold of the knife and we think, oh, the vision's coming true,
Yep.
she instead turns around and she stabs the hunter.
Yeah. Which what
And
is
not her.
Is his? I couldn't tell what his reaction to that was. Like, was he shocked by that, or was he also like kind of?
I think the reaction was kind of, "Hey, I usually don't get lines."
That's it. Yep, that's what I was recognizing. Okay, so yeah, and then the fort burns as Ginger carries Bridget out of there, and then this last scene that is them in the snow. Ginger's full-on werewolf queen. She's got the crazy eyes and the white hair, and the claw hands.
That is, again, it's just like the first movie, and they do a callback to the beginning, which is the whole thing about Bridget's like, I'm cold, because she's laying in the snow, and Ginger goes, I'm not.
Yeah. And then the last shot is them clasping hands. And I don't are we supposed to think Bridget died? I can't
tell either. That's why I'm sitting there going, like, if they're the ancestors of the characters in the modern day, does that mean that somehow, because it wouldn't have been Ginger, I assume as a werewolf, she's not going to be marrying.
Well, and also that's the thing is, like, because then if I'm supposed to take that, then what? There was werewolf blood in them the whole time. I don't like that.
Me either.
So
it also makes it highly just coincidental. That some male werewolf attacks them in the future.
Right. And that comes from the fact that, yes, the original creators of the movie Ginger Snaps had nothing to do with either of these sequels, because I don't think they ever thought about mythology and, like, oh, what are the ancestors of this? This is classic. So many horror franchises are like this, right? Where it's cool original idea, and then it has enough cachet that somebody else comes along and goes like, well, we could continue this, even though that was like a one-off idea. I mean, that was very much the case for The Howling, which is infinitely stupider.
Yes.
And I'll take both of these Ginger Snaps movies over any Howling sequel. But like,
it's true.
But like a similar thing where it's like, I don't think Joe Dante was going like, okay, and then that will set up the sequel.
He certainly wasn't.
They're just making movies, man. Even more egregious is American Werewolf in Paris, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just going like, nope, please don't. But they can't leave. Horror is probably the genre that's most guilty of this to me, of where it's just like, oh man, because it's generally cheap. We can probably find a way. The interesting thing about this is they do actually have the two main actors. And yeah, this one is certainly a much better movie. It's much more enjoyable than 2.
Yeah. And handsomely made.
Yeah, they got a good director.
The main problem is pacing, and
the script is a little weak. I think the director and the actors bring it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I would say, I wouldn't say avoid this one, but I also wouldn't say seek it out. Right.
Yeah.
Just watch the first one. Watch Ginger Snaps.
Reason to see.
I'd say just stop after Ginger Snaps. I highly recommend. As we did.
Stop.
Yeah, they should have stopped, but they didn't. So anyway, well, next week on the show, Brendan, we're back to the classics. This is we're returning for the next 2 weeks. It's been a while since we've done a multi-part TV movie.
It's true.
But we are going back to the world of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Oh, you're kidding.
With 2004's Frankenstein. They worked hard on that title. And this is I don't know where this exactly aired, but this is a 2-part TV miniseries that is, I think, really trying to be like, and it's based on the novel. I think I don't think it's not literally Masterpiece Theater, but I think it's in that vein.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so we're gonna see. This is sort of a return to back when we were doing like Frankenstein, the true story and stuff like that.
Yeah. Are there any names in this one?
Oh, some big names in this one.
I'm ready.
One of the big things that's really surprising is the legends in this thing. We've got Donald Sutherland.
What?
We've got William Hurt.
I can't handle this.
Julie Delpy is back with us. Speaking of American Werewolf in Paris.
Delpy.
A young Dan Stevens, who I'm a big fan of.
Oh, Dan Stevens.
We love Dan Stevens. He's playing Clerval here. Alec Newman is playing Dr. Frankenstein. He's one of those guys I've seen in a lot of British TV. And then Luke Goss is the creature, who we saw. He was the main Reaper Nomak in Blade 2.
Oh, okay.
So back in the makeup for him as he plays this Frankenstein. I am very curious about this. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I'm surprised I've never seen it based on who's in it. I would have thought I just don't know where it aired. But like a two-part thing. It must be British in production because most of these actors are British, aside from
and yet
Hurt
it seems like this is the period of time where you had TNT doing a lot of prestige TV miniseries things.
And I wonder if this was a co-production or something. But I feel like if it was a TNT thing, I would have seen it. I watched anything like that would have been. We watched the TNT one. Wasn't that the Randy Quaid one? Wasn't that the? I think that was Turner production.
Oh, well, that wasn't good.
No, it was not good at all.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, so this is
a brand new thing.
The next 2 weeks, but apparently one of our faves, Kim Newman, speaks very highly of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hallmark is where it aired.
Hallmark presents Frankenstein?
Yeah, they did before they got all the way down the rabbit hole, the Christmas stuff. They used to do some literary adaptations. I remember them doing like Jules Verne's Mysterious Island. I think that was where the Patrick Stewart Moby Dick was. They did do some of these. But I think obviously like in co-production with the BBC. You know, but anyway, it apparently is fairly well thought of.
Okay.
And
I'm looking forward to it.
I will just say, keep this in mind when you're watching it. It was the 2005 Emmy winner for Best Makeup.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah. So I go in with that thought of, I don't know what it looks like, but we will be looking at award-winning makeup. So
yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I've been very curious about this one, seeing this on our upcoming schedule.
I got to be cautious.
I've got to be cautious. I mean, the one thing we know, Sutherland and Hurt will be good, although of course they're playing. I think Sutherland is the the ship captain at the beginning, and William Hurt is like the mentor professor to Frankenstein. So they're in pretty small. But the two big like Academy Award winners are in like the small parts, even though they're the biggest faces on the poster, of course.
Well, don't give it all away. That's next week.
That will be next. That will be the next 2 weeks of the show. Will be Frankenstein from 2004. Look, it can. I'll say the biggest thing that can help it, the fact that we just recently watched that Dean Koontz one, because it can only just sail past that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that a lack of Parker Posey and Adam Goldberg.
Yeah,
offense to them,
who we love in most things.
Yes, but that can only help this.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right.
But that's gonna do it for this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Brendan Jones.
And remember, there are such things as monsters.
See, it's called Ginger Snaps Back because we go back in time.